Hello everyone, welcome to Jets PV. Please comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos as well. It's greatly appreciated to everyone that does share the videos and watch the videos. I love you guys. So this is going to be my recap for my week 15 picks from a remote location here, clearly. So let's go ahead and get right into it. First game I want to talk about, Denver Broncos, San Diego Chargers. I took the Denver Broncos in this game. That got me a win. This is just classic Denver Broncos football. Just doing just enough to win the game. They were able to kind of keep the Chargers offense in check. Phillip Rivers was only 24-41, 232 yards throwing the ball. He had a TD, but he had 2 interceptions. And that's something we know you can't turn the ball over against the Broncos and expect, to get out of there with W's. Brandon Oliver was their leading rusher. He only had 26 yards, on 12 carries. I mean, you got to put up more yards than that. And Gates had, was the leading receiver as well. He had 54 yards off of 6 catches. He had a TD, solid day for Gates. But if that's the only guy that's really kind of showing up, Keenan Allen ended up getting hurt in this game, and it just kind of all went downhill for the Chargers. I mean, Peyton Manning, typical day, 14-20, 233 yards throwing the ball. He also had a TD. Anderson went off as well. He had 29 carries for 85 yards. Decent day. But Demaryius Thomas, this was his day. 6 catches, 123 yards. He had a TD. I mean, just typical Broncos football, just playing solid football, putting up points, doing just enough to get you out of here as they just continue to cruise on down their way. So shout out to the Broncos fans as well. They hit me in my inbox all the time telling me to cover your team all the time. I just covered your team, picked you guys, that got me a win. Second game I want to talk about, Cowboys, Eagles. Man, took the Cowboys in this game, that got me a win. Let me tell you, it was shaky. Everything was shaky. It was all shaky. I was like, hey, can I trust Tony Romo? Can he come out? Can he get the job done? And he performed here. 22-31, 265 yards throwing the ball. He had 3 TDs. DeMarco Murray jacked his hand up in this game, but he had 31 carries for 81 yards as well. He had 2 TDs. He had a solid day. Dez Bryant, 6 catches, 114 yards. He had 3 TDs. Dez Bryant went off in this game. They had this dude named Fletcher covering him. That boy couldn't cover a bed with a bed sheet. He just could not stop Dez Bryant all night long. And Dez just ate. Like it was just a feast out there for him. On the flip side, as I said before, if people continue to come at me about me talking about Mark Sanchez. Mark, like I said, is an average quarterback at best. I don't disrespect him. I want him to have all the success he could possibly have in Philly. But I just believe that he is what he is. And this game kind of showed it. He was 17-28. He had 252 yards throwing the ball, and he had 2 interceptions. McCoy was the leading rusher. He had 16 carries for 64 yards. And Macklin, who had a solid day as well, he had 4 catches for 98 yards. But it wasn't enough. It just was not enough. You had guys like Polk scoring their 2 touchdowns, and you had Sproles scoring the other touchdown as well. He only had 3 carries for 5 yards. So at the end of the day, I just feel like as long as you have Mark Sanchez out there and you have him at the helm and you expecting this guy, once you get behind, you have to put the ball in his hands to come back. It's not going to happen. It was a back and forth game. At certain points, it looked like the Cowboys would reel, but they stepped right back into it and said, you know what, we're not going to let this happen. And they just did just enough to beat the Eagles. Like I said, putting up Mark Sanchez with his turnovers. It just is what it is. So, took the Cowboys in that game. That got me a win. Last but not least, Jets-Titans. I told all you Jets fans to calm down. I said we wouldn't blow the Titans out. I thought it would be a close game. That's exactly what it was, but I took the Jets in this game. That got me a win. Honestly, didn't even want to talk about this game. This is one of the worst games I think I've ever seen us play. This is one of the worst football games I think I've ever watched in history. Even the commentators were terrible. The refs were terrible. The gameplay was terrible. The commentators were terrible. Everything about the game was just terrible. We ended up beating the Titans 16-11. I mean, the numbers, the numbers, they're just so mediocre. Everything is just so average. I mean, Geno was 16-28, 179 yards throwing the ball. He had 1 TD. Chris Johnson was our leading rusher, 18 carries, 55 yards. Like, you know, Chris Ivory finally put in a situation he was able to score. 12 carries, 25 yards. He had a TD. You know, it was just a game where it was just sloppy football. We were penalized like crazy. It was just a lot of things going on that just did not make sense. Did not make sense at all as far as our team. And I think that those things are going to really get Rex out of here. You know, the penalties were just out of control. I mean, we were penalized, you know, 7 times for 46 yards. They were penalized 9 times for 76 yards. It was just dumb stuff going on. Little skirmishes, fights, and stuff like that going on the field. I mean, Charlie Whitehurst, he was 10 of 24. 200 yards. He didn't have anything on the day. Sean Green, 16 carries for 50 yards. I mean, Nate Washington was feasting out there. He looked like a solid receiver against our trash secondary. Like I said, he had 6 catches for 102 yards. I mean, it was a sloppy, ugly game on a sloppy, ugly field with some sloppy, ugly commentators, with sloppy, ugly refs. But you know what? Ugly wins are still wins nonetheless, and I will take it. So that makes me 3-0 this week. I'm very happy about that. So shout out to everyone that watches. Go Jets, go Jets, go Jets. It was an ugly win, but I will take it. I will take it. But man, that was ugly. Thank you guys for watching. Please stay tuned for my next picks video. And that is all. Peace out, guys.